Hey there, Ron Sullivan, your online hitting consultant. I thought today I would get in the mix of the differences between rotational and linear hitting. I've tried to prevent myself from making a video like this because there's so many videos out there that are talking about that, but I thought that I would try to give a clear guide to what I believe the main differences are. Okay, now first and foremost, on the left is a linear, my best example of a linear swing. And the linear swing was first created by Charlie Lau. This is before video was real prevalent, and what he was trying to do was get players to get as directly to the ball as possible. And I think he was genius in the sense that, number one, he didn't have video, but he was very observant. He watched, so what do kids normally do? Well, they normally are really long with the bat back here, and so they'll lay the bat down behind them so they can swing the bat around their body and then ultimately swing around the ball. Well, that's wrong. And so what he was trying to do is get players to have as smooth and as clean a path to the ball as possible. All right, and so as video came out, that's when the contradictions started to pop up. That we were starting to see, well, wait a minute, you see players at the best level and they're not swinging down and through. You can see on the left there how I'm kind of chopping down at the ball, right? And so this is where rotational hitting started to kind of gain some ground, is because the rotational style, I guess if you will, was a little bit closer to what we were seeing the pros do. Apparently. So, but the main differences that I want to point out are not rotational. By spinning in a circle, that's not exactly what a rotational hitter is, and I think that's one of the ways that it really ruins players. Just the word alone takes a dad that has, just enough information from the internet to be dangerous, right? And then talking to his player about spinning around in a circle. That's not our goal. Just like the linear hitter, I believe we're trying to teach youth players to get as directly to contact as possible. And so the main differences you're going to see here, I believe, it has everything to do with what my intent is. And so if a linear hitter is down and through, my goal is in a rotational swing is to take my hands and barrel and arms and body to position where I can drive through the pitch plane. Okay, and that's the main difference, in that a linear hitter works across the pitch plane. Okay, a rotational hitter sets his body up so that he can swing the barrel on plane with the oncoming pitch. I think the most noticeable differences here are how the arms are positioned. It's extremely important that if you're wanting to understand the differences, that you understand just what the intent is. Well, I'm trying to take the barrel and go through the ball and drive it back where it came from. That's the rotational style. The linear style is I'm trying to put backspin on the ball and hit down on the ball as hard as I can. And I think both can produce results, but I think that the consistency is going to be a little bit tougher on the linear swing, obviously, because they're working across the pitch plane. And our timing is not going to be perfect, folks, right? It's a tough game. It's a tough job to hit. So we have to have our barrel in a position where we can be, if we're late, we have a chance. If we're right on time, we can treat it like a mistake. And then if we're early, we still have the barrel in the zone. And so ultimately, the differences come down to what we're trying to do with our hands and arms out front. If my goal is to drive through the ball and not to the ball, then I'll probably make a little bit closer to a move that I'm doing on the right. But you can see the difference in the top hand arm. I want you to watch this as we're going into contact. The top hand arm on the left is working down, as are the hands, and then my top hand arm on the right is working in the same direction that the ball is being pitched. Okay, that's how we hit through a ball and not to a ball. And but the main thing that I can point out here as well is how the hands stay on top of the pitch plane. This is a critical piece in that we do not ever want our hands to work down across the pitch plane. We want them to work on top so that we can keep our hands on top of the barrel to a certain extent. And so we can continue to, my next move from here obviously is the barrel continuing to extend through the ball, and over here I've already done my extension. So that's the main differences that I wanted to point out today, and I think a lot of emphasis these days is with rotational and linear hitters is definitely about where if the bat's getting on plane with the oncoming pitch. But I think that what we do a lot of times, almost in a to a flaw, is we start talking about getting on plane early to 10-year-old hitters, right? And so in other words, some coaches will interpret that as getting the barrel back here to get on plane. And really, we're trying to make this turn, much like a linear hitter, I think. We're still trying to make a short turn here. And then ultimately, what we do through the ball is going to be a huge difference. But rotational style and linear style, to me, the main differences are going to be how we use our hands and drive our hands through the zone. And that's the main difference. So I appreciate anybody's opinions on this. And please hit the like button, the dislike button. I don't care which one you do. I just like to know that people are out there watching. And otherwise, we'll see you guys next time.